till this morning, but we saw a cracking performance by her moving up through the field, so without any practice at all. So we'll see what happens now. She's got a bit more of a feel for the situation, because the lap times were very good, and we'll see what she has to offer in this race in terms of results. The other potentials in this race, let's have a look. Well, we've got Tim Andrew in there, and that's him we're looking at now. Lee Hackett, double British champion. He's a twice winner of this event when it was a multi-round format outdoors. We've got Derek Jones in here, we've got Lukasz Nieroda, Guillermo Van Pamelen, Dan Truman, Ciaran Gallagher and Tom Eastwood in this one. And well, what can you say about the potential winner here? You'd have to say it was looking good as a battle between Lee Hackett and Guillermo Van Pamelen, maybe with Dan Truman in there. Ryan Smith could well be a contender too. He's good enough, and we'll see what happens. So they're on their qualifying laps now. Well, they're on their warm-up lap to begin their qualifier, and we'll see how it shapes out as the scores come in. So the opening laps are being completed. It's Tim Andrew who's leading the way, and the variety of people in here are going to be looking to make up some points, of which Tim Andrew is one, as they continue on. So there's the checker flag. We're seeing the time coming. It's Lee Hackett on the provisional pole from Jessica Alexander. Ryan Smith has gone fastest, and Ciaran Gallagher has moved up to 4th place. Dan Truman has popped himself into 3rd place, and Guillermo Van Pamelen on to the last qualifier. The last shall be first. He is on pole position. Guillermo Van Pamelen, the young Dutch ace from Middelburg, and he is going to be starting from 1st place. He's got Ryan Smith behind him, Lee Hackett behind Ryan, Dan Truman came in 4th, Jessica Alexander, a great performance to come into 5th, Ciaran Gallagher was 6th, Tim Andrews 7th, whoever's in the 18, which is maybe Lukasz Nieroda, Tom Eastwood, and then Derek Jones rounding out the tail there. So well, what a performance there by Guillermo Van Pamelen. Sneaked it by 0.1 of a second. Really was a close run deal. On 1.6 seconds separates the entire field there. This is the last heat race of this group, this round of heats, and well, it's going to be a cracker. Guillermo Van Pamelen really sees opportunity to take win here. We know that he's going to be going for gold straight from the bat on this one. Explosive talent for speed, and we'll see whether he can just check out and win the race. However, it's Ryan Smith behind him, and it's Lee Hackett in 3rd place.
I'm back, James. I'm back in the commentary booth with you. Nice. It's quite nice going down there and chatting to the lads. This is where the action is. What's going on now? Another go-kart race?
Yes, it is, and it's the final heat of this round.
Why does he get block capitals? There you go.
Well, it's probably the way he typed his name in that's signing on, isn't it?
Well, I think that's a power move, to be honest.
It probably is.
I approve.
Yeah, there you go. It's,
and he's got 2 initials as well. He's done his middle initial.
Well, the V stands for Van.
Oh, I
so
see. Is that how they do it?
So one of them Dutch names, Van Pamelen.
I didn't know there was a full stop between it.
Yeah. Guillermo Van Pamelen there starts from the front. Ryan Smith, though, in 2nd and Lee Hackett 3rd. This could be one heck of a race. Jessica Alexander in 5th is worth watching too, getting faster all the time with absolutely no practice at all, and had never been here till this morning. A last-minute stand-in for James Martin. So we've got a green light there, and a clear lead there by Guillermo Van Pamelen. Closing in a bit was Ryan Smith with Lee Hackett with him. Van Pamelen did enough at the start there so he wouldn't get sort of punted in that opening section. Pretty clean getaway, Spanners. It's looking good though for Van Pamelen.
Very polite there, wasn't it? Very polite, and they've spread out nicely, so interesting to see which battles are going to develop in this heat.
Yeah, Van Pamelen getting on the power pretty early there, kind of stretched the field out a bit, made for less kind of incidents. So Van Pamelen leads across the line. He's got this one appearing to be under control. He is one of the finest drivers in the world, is Van Pamelen. He's very, very good indeed.
How much ballast is he carrying? He's got a big lead seat.
He was the one last year who couldn't carry his own seat.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, that rings bells. Yes.
Yeah, so Guillermo Van Pamelen, he was the Dutch junior champion in 2017. He was the European junior champion last year, moving up to the senior levels now. He's got a little bit more weight to him. And a move there by Jessica Alexander. That moves her up ahead of Dan Truman. Jessica Alexander up to 4th place. Truman in the pits. Dan Truman is the first pit stopper.
That's a bold move coming out of that group.
Very bold move there.
Well, we'll see if Jessica can get onto the back of Lee Hackett, because Hackett's being quite aggressive as well. I think he's going to be having a look down this back straight too. Indeed,
he's part of that lead group, and it definitely is a lead group. You've got Guillermo Van Pamelen leading the way onto the back stretch from Ryan Smith, Lee Hackett. Jessica Alexander's trying to make up the ground to get herself into that mix. She is a second and a half behind, but trying to close the gap as we speak. Guillermo Van Pamelen, though, comes through in the lead. Here he is. On screen now is the 17. That's Ciaran Gallagher trying to make up some time as they race across the line there. There's Derek Jones bringing up arguably the rear, although Dan Truman is behind him, having pitted.
Always races in a very correct way, does Jones.
He does.
We'll give that a pass.
He's proper. Anyway, Van Pamelen there. Van Pamelen with the lead. They're heading onto the backstretch, and that's Ryan Smith, and then Lee Hackett behind him. There's Jessica Alexander trying to bridge that gap. It's nearly up to 2 seconds. These three leaders are setting a searing pace already. 33.0 already for Guillermo Van Pamelen. Spanners, that's very fast.
Yeah, I was just looking at that gap actually back to Alexander and was wondering whether this was going to become a 4-way fight. At the moment, the front three aren't tripping over each other too much. And actually, Hackett was looking over his shoulder on the back straight on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, in terms of time, they are ever so gradually extending it over Alexander. She's at the moment running, you know, just about a 10th slower, but that could change. You know, it really could change quite easily. As crossing the line there, it's Guillermo Van Pamelen. We can see from Ryan Smith and Lee Hackett. Jessica Alexander trying to close in on that lot as they enter the new area there. It's still Guillermo Van Pamelen. He's managing to do enough to not be punted about by Ryan Smith, isn't he?
I've got a prediction. Can we do predictions? Here we go. So Van Pamelen to disappear a little bit as Smith has to defend from Hackett, who gets increasingly more bold. Contact, a little bit of a wiggle, both survive. Alexander catches up. We have a 3-way battle. Here we go. Look at that. Place. It's almost come to pass as Hackett gets past.
It was always going to happen, but the key thing in that is that Lee Hackett has gone ahead without too much hassle, basically. Now, Lee Hackett is now leading the attack towards Guillermo Van Pamelen. Lee Hackett, of course, is a double British champion. He's just managed to move ahead of Ryan Smith. Now, what'll be interesting here, with Hackett moving forward, will Smith go with him? I think Smith can go with him. He's got the capability of doing it, whether he will.
They did the finger waggy pointy thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Yeah. All indoor kart business now. There's standard fare, as in don't mess about, let's catch this guy. Guillermo Van Pamelen clearly is the one who's in the sights of Lee Hackett. Ryan Smith trying to chase him down. We'll have a look for Jessica Alexander to see how far back she is. It's the gap has gone up a little bit. It's well, it's what is that going to be? Did you go to school, Spanners?
That's Wait, asking me to do maths.
That's 2.5 seconds, isn't it? Yeah, it's just around 2.5 seconds now that Jessica Alexander is behind Ryan Smith. Now the question is, will they pull forward? There's no defensive driving going on at all.
No.
So it's all about sheer speed. No one's losing time for any defensive driving. And it's the question now, really, I think it's down to whether Hackett can catch Van Pamelen. That's what it's all about. It's down to 1 second exactly as they cross the line.
It's getting tasty as well in the battle for 5th place with Gallagher, Andrew and Nieroda, who's... Oh, there you go. Well, there's that battle gone.
Yeah, one of the routine expert photographers here who gets cracking pictures, Tim Andrew.
Yes.
He's the pit man now. That's the one we're looking at. That was Tim Andrew. Gets some spectacular photos from the event.
I believe he does a blog as well.
He does, is he? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, well, tell us about it, Spanners.
Pass. Okay, good. I just know that he does one. I have not read it. I'm not much of a reader. Your earlier question, I went to school when absolutely forced to. Here we got into the pits, number 18. That is Nieroda.
Excellent, and you're right, Spanners, it is 18, so you went to the maths class at least and learned the numbers. It is Nieroda. This is Lukasz Nieroda, rather than Patrick Nieroda we saw earlier. And was it a good one?
Well, no, I think he had to...
Well, it wasn't that bad when you look at the actual times. It was an 11-second stop, so A lot of people will take that.
Well, what are we going to do? Look at the evidence or what I reckoned from looking at it from up
well,
here?
we just got to go on what we're feeling.
Yeah, that's what I
think. The last thing we want to do is look.
Oh, look at that! A bold move there by the number 14, Lee Hackett, getting past what I assume is a back marker, but there was lots of contact. No, he got past man. Well, I'm very confused. I'm just going to be quiet for a second.
Let's have a little look at that. There's Lee Hackett, and there's the...
He's taking the lead. Yeah, it was for the lead.
Van Pamelen. Yeah, Spanners, it was an incredible move by Lee Hackett there to take the lead from Guillermo Van Pamelen, and here comes Lee Hackett, the leader. Well, he certainly shut the gap down there, didn't he?
Yes, that took us totally by surprise. I saw the move, but I just didn't quite believe that it was on the leader.
Well, it's obviously not Van Pamelen, because he's the second half
exactly.
up in the lead,
That's exactly what I was thinking, but yeah.
No, Lee Hackett is now taking the lead, and he is the double British champion. He knows what to do. He's won this title twice before for himself, and he'd like to make it 3. Here comes Lee Hackett in the lead. Van Pamelen now is trying to retake that lead back. Ryan Smith, well, from Lee Hackett's point of view, the best thing that could happen now is that Ryan Smith gets on the case of Guillermo Van Pamelen and makes it a 3-way fight.
I'm going to try and find a replay.
Van Pamelen needs some distraction.
I'm going to try and find a replay because I just finding it unlikely that Van Pamelen left that much room.
Something happened somewhere, didn't it? Lee Hackett, though, trying to get a bit defensive there on Van Pamelen. That's obviously he's still worried about the young Dutch driver behind him. Because Guillermo Van Pamelen has proven to be very quick indeed and is going to make no bones about coming back at Lee Hackett. Ryan Smith is obviously following in 3rd, but not really in contact. He's actually a 2nd behind Lee Hackett, the leader, and Van Pamelen is closer to Hackett than he is to Ryan Smith. As I say, Lee Hackett's best friend on the whole track right now would be Ryan Smith, if Ryan Smith could get close enough to start breathing down the neck of Guillermo Van Pamelen. So,
we weren't wrong. I'm watching the replay back, and at the moment I'm looking at it. Yes, there was a 2nd up the road, so I'm about to watch something catastrophic happen to Van Pamelen.
Something weird occurred, didn't it? It's in the new section, I think. Well, that's where the pass was made. Meantime, as you're finding that, Spanners, it's still Hackett from Van Pamelen and Ryan Smith. The gaps are similar, but maybe... it's sort of the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's still Lee Hackett. He is definitely having to hold off Van Pamelen there. Van Pamelen getting pretty racy. They're on that new section now. It's still Lee Hackett from Van Pamelen. Coming around the fast turn, down the backstretch, and there is former British champion Lee Hackett, double champion he was back in the earlier days of the BRKC, 2012 and 2013. Won himself some entries to the World Championships there, made it to the semi-final to Lee Hackett. No, in fact, he made a final one year. So great driving there by Lee Hackett at world level, as well as his 2 British titles. So there is Lee Hackett, lives in London these days, but originally from Herefordshire. Sort of got into the BRKC through Herefordshire Raceway, that local track there.
Oh, it's a beautiful little track, isn't it?
Yes,
so scenic.
It's a wonderful track, and I'm sure the lads up there are watching here. They're very much karting fans, so they'll be looking to see how Lee does. Lawrence, everybody knows Lawrence Hackett, Lee's dad. He's always on the scene, and Lawrence is here as well to cheer Lee on. He'll be very pleased to see this, no doubt about that. Have you found out what happened then, Spanners?
No, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Unfortunately, we're looking at something else.
Okay, so Lee Hackett then pulled the mystery move and took the lead from Guillermo Van Pamelen. Obviously did it with mirrors, but whatever happens, it's definitely for real now, because Lee Hackett continues down the backstretch in the lead. Van Pamelen in pursuit. Ryan Smith is actually losing time to Hackett now.
He's not doing him the favour he was hoping for that you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, and Jessica Alexander is managing to stay in 4th. It's a very convincing 4th place, but now some 6 seconds away almost from the leaders themselves, back of Ryan Smith basically. But that is still a comfortable 6.5 seconds ahead of Ciaran Gallagher, who's in 5th. And then it gets a bit tighter there, back there with Tom Eastwood. That's about the best showing we've seen from him. Dan Truman, who started a bit further up, dropped down. Derek Jones, though, is in 8th place.
He's yet to stop, but he's certainly holding his own, and he's not going to be too far behind when he does pit.
No, and Lukasz Nieroda, Tim Andrew have stopped, to the ones bringing up the rear. Okay then, so there's Lee Hackett and Guillermo Van Pamelen. It's half a second between them. This is probably the most breathing space Lee Hackett's had all race. Spanners?
Well, since I've been here, do you think Hackett's performance has been, the performance of the post-Spanners era, if you want to say it like that? since I've been here. Like, he's come from,
what,
fourth?
Since
I arrived.
No, that's the current Spanners era when you're here.
I see.
It's when you leave that it becomes post.
We're getting very technical here today.
We're just becoming factual Spanners. That's what's happening.
That is definitely probably the best win. Definitely, probably, maybe the best winning potential win.
Spanners, I just want to point out a little bit of a slight fly in the thinking there, and that is that your presence maybe hasn't done that much for Lee's performances, because since you've been here, like last year and this year, Ruben Bouton's won the championship last year. He's likely to win it this year. Lee Hackett definitely did win it, but a few years ago now.
I meant my arrival
unless
today.
I'm very much mistaken, you weren't there.
I did mean my arrival today, because I didn't see those. Here we go.
No, he did well earlier on as well, but he's doing
pits.
even better now. Yeah, that's Derek Jones there. He's been in action for the past couple of years now, and he's looking really to move up the order. That's been his
get in the way of
big
Alexander, is he? No, he's lifted off. Well done.
Derek Jones there was 91st in 2018, 88th in 2017. Is really aiming for a 70th, a position in the 70s there, which obviously would just mean improvement generally. Still, here is Lee Hackett, and he has got the lead. There's only 8.5 minutes to go now. He's looking pretty solid against Guillermo Van Pamelen, and into the pits is Smith. Ryan Smith in the pits there.
He's sort of cautious.
Now, he's going to lose a spot to Jessica Alexander, who he has lost a spot to. He's lost a track position, shall we say, to Derek Jones, but he's resumed in 4th place. Now, Jessica Alexander has to pitch. She's only 3 seconds ahead of Ryan Smith, so all things being equal, that position will flip back again, and Ryan will assume his regular 3rd and Jessica her regular 4th. The big question, of course, is these two leaders are tight enough that speed in the pits could become a factor. It's only 0.2 of a second between them officially. And we'll see. It could be down to the pit stop that really makes the difference here.
Van Pamelen having a good look into a corner that I don't think we've seen any overtakes into yet, which is the, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 by race control.
Yeah, by race control. Well, we've not seen anything that's not involved a penalty, put it that way.
Rightio.
So it's one of them inviting but dangerous ones, I think, the false friend, you know.
Well, you've got a lot of time, haven't you, from 3, 4 to accelerate around and build up speed. So if you get a bit of an advantage, you get it in your head. Well, maybe.
People are definitely arriving there with momentum over other cars. I mean, we'll have a look here. Look at the gap
Alexander
there with Lee Hackett over Van Pamelen. And will Van Pamelen be closer? Not really. And in the pits, it's the 12. It's Jessica Alexander. Now, she's lost a position to Ryan Smith, has she? But she's going to come out in 4th place, surely. This is not bad from a driver who drove down from Scotland overnight and only saw the track for the first time this morning. Everyone else, well, there were 8,000 laps completed yesterday in testing.
I think,
across the team, across everybody.
Alexander there had to take a couple of stabs at each of the pit stops, which is perfectly understandable if your first attempt at it was this morning in battle, as it were.
Absolutely, it's not an easy thing to do, and if we look at her times, it's a run. We'll take that all day long. It's 11-second pit stop, that one, so no problem there. She has dropped behind Gallagher, Truman, Eastwood, but that doesn't mean much because they haven't stopped yet. In fact, that in the pits is Ciaran Gallagher. There's Ciaran Gallagher. We're looking at Ciaran Gallagher now. He's pitting it and he's trying to resume, but he's obviously thinking about where he is, Truman and Eastwood. Oh, it's going to be very, very tight there. Ciaran Gallagher's got Nieroda onto him, as Lukasz Nieroda, well, you know, we've seen some fairly hefty moves there by Lukasz Nieroda. They're working their way through a back by the looks of it. Where is he versus Ciaran Gallagher, though? Or was that Ciaran Gallagher who's accidentally waved Nieroda through?
Oh, thinking it was a blue flag situation.
I've got a feeling there that Gallagher may have accidentally waved him through. Oops. Anyway, back up to the front then. Let's have a look. We've got Lee Hackett is now on the back of somebody. Who is he on the back of? Is that Lukasz Nieroda? I think it may well be. Yes, it is. It's Lukasz Nieroda who's actually got Lee Hackett breathing down. Now, Nieroda's not getting out of the way. There's going to be a black flag. Van Pamelen's going to sense an opportunity here.
Oh, no.
What's Van Pamelen going to do? Oh, not there. It's not going to be there. But what's going to happen further around the course? We've got a long sweeping left into the backstretch. Now, Nieroda's going to get the flag here. Nieroda's been given the flag. He's moving out of the way as best he can, but everyone's on full power. And Pamelen's going to have to lunge him.
He didn't get that much out of the way, did he?
Well, no, everyone was on full power and that was it. Now into the pits there, who have we got there? That looks like it's Eastwood. That looked like Tom Eastwood there. He was in the pits, he's come out and maintained position by the looks of things. But what a tight one there against Nieroda. He's come out right next to Patrick Nieroda.
That's for position as well.
Yeah, Tom Eastwood, that is definitely for position. As Nieroda there, I think has got one better over Tom Eastwood with Ciaran Gallagher behind them. So there's Nieroda, there's Eastwood, and there's Gallagher down the backstretch. They are a lap down from the race leaders who are immediately in front of them. It's Lee Hackett from Guillermo Van Pamelen and Ryan Smith dropping back.
Here comes a pit stop.
Oh yes, into the pits. It's Van Pamelen.
This is key now, isn't it? Let's have a look. That's gone smoothly, the first section. The second part of the pit stop, just as smoothly as well. Fantastically timed.
So where's he going to come out? He's got to be ahead of Ryan Smith,
yeah,
surely.
Clear,
Ryan Smith will
clear.
be chomping at the bit to try and catch him, but yes, it is quite comfortable, that. You know, it's a decent enough lead that there's nothing really Ryan can do about it. But Ryan's looking good there to continue in his third place.
It's got to come in now.
He's 10 seconds up on Jessica Alexander, so Ryan Smith is looking good to maintain a third. It's all about Lee Hackett's pit stop.
Hackett stays out.
Hackett's he's got 4 minutes before he comes in. There's no real urgency, I don't think, for Hackett to come in. I mean, he's running pretty much on clear air there. There he is. There's nothing in front of him, nothing behind. He may as well leave this to the end.
Van Pamelen pushing very hard. So on the final bend there, he just clipped the outside, just the other side of the pit wall. So definitely pushing. That would have cost.
If I can cut in, Spanner, sorry to do this, but do you know what? Van Pamelen is only 11 seconds exact behind. For Lee Hackett to come out with any kind of clarity, it's going to have to be fast in the pits. And if anything, if he was holding up Guillermo Van Pamelen, Lee Hackett is going to have to do it sooner rather than later, so that time doesn't come down and he gets leapfrogged anyway. This is going to be very serious. I think Lee Hackett probably needs to get in the pits now, Spanners.
I was surprised he didn't come in.
Yeah, well, and you're right to be, because I think now would be the time. Lee Hackett's there, he's on his own down the backstretch. But it's 11.2 seconds. Lee Hackett seems to have made something up on Van Pamelen, but it's going to be side by side coming out pits. He still does not pit. Lee Hackett still does not pit. The former British champion stays out. Through the new area there, Lee Hackett looking very fast, very smooth. He's saving as much time as he can. He needs to, because if he's going to make any sort of safety coming out of the pits, he's got to increase that lap. He's doing it by 1/10 of a second a lap over Guillermo Van Pamelen, but he's not out of danger. A flunked pit stop at all now, and when I say flunked, I mean anything less than very good. Is this the lap he's coming in? No, it's not. Maybe he almost daren't pit. He doesn't want to blow it now, but he doesn't want to leave it too late. That flag's going to be out soon enough. It's probably, you know, really advisable this lap around, Lee. He needs to get it in the pits.
Van Pamelen is using every single inch of this track. This is an absolutely crucial phase of the race.
Yes, it is. And Van Pamelen, he lost some time there, but it was less than half a tenth. There's nothing in it, but Lee Hackett is going to have to pit, and it's going to have to be a very good pit stop. There's no room for error here. This is where it's at. Lee, surely in this lap. Yes, he is. Now this is vital. He's got to be perfect.
It's timed that well.
It's good. The second stop.
Perfect.
He's good.
Yeah, spot on. I think he's done enough.
Coming out, and where's Van Pamelen? Where's Van Pamelen? Oh, well, that's Tim Andrew. It's not Van Pamelen. There's Van Pamelen, and Lee Hackett looks like he's in enough, but Van Pamelen's got a lot of momentum. It's going to be right on his tail, is he? As here they are. There's Lee Hackett. He's caught behind the back marker, and there's Van Pamelen with 1:28 to go.
The blue flag didn't come out from race control. It is flashing now on the board, so hopefully that back marker will get out of the way.
Yes, it is. And it's Tim Andrew, and he's got to stay out of the way of Van Pamelen as well. As they go through, Van Pamelen is right on the tail of Lee Hackett. There's only 1 minute to go. It's going to be about one more lap and a bit to go, I think. Certainly not much left in this. It's Lee Hackett. He's got this potentially is the last lap. It's Hackett who's got to absorb this enormous pressure from the flying youngster Guillermo Van Pamelen, the Dutch junior champion in 2017, the European junior champion in 2018, and he's all over the back of former British champion Lee Hackett. If anyone can take it, though, it is Lee, but he's massively defensive there. Look at this. He's not going to give Van Pamelen any chance. Surely this is the last lap. They've brought out the checker. This is going to be it. Lee's got one more corner, and Lee Hackett is going to make it, absorbing massive pressure. Lee Hackett wins it from Guillermo Van Pamelen. What an amazing race. Ryan Smith fourth. An amazing result there by Jessica Alexander, the driver who was brought in at the last minute, didn't even see the track till this morning, and a fourth place by her. Fantastic. Dan Truman, very regular competitor here, is in fifth place. Lukasz Nieroda sixth. Tom Eastwood has come through in seventh, with Ciaran Gallagher eighth. Tim Andrew has managed to grab ninth, with Derek Jones rounding him out with a 10th place finish there. And that looks like Ciaran Gallagher crossing the line now. There he goes. to complete it, and the others are a lap down, so that is it. And here is Lee Hackett from Van Pamelen. Amazing driving by both these guys. Ryan Smith, that's probably one of the best drives I've seen him do. It's just so happens he's third because of what he's up against. And we'll be down there with Spanners in the pit. Spanners will be grabbing them as they get out of the kart. What a race that was.
Yeah, mate. Wow. Cheers, man. This is my better side.
Hi, you're joining me, Spanners, in the pit lane, and all I've got to say to the race winner is, wow, up from third place. You had to make that all happen on track.
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I saw the kart was pretty good in the race before, so I was medium happy when I drew it, and yeah, qualified third, had it all to do on track, and managed to get past them both on track. Had a fairly comfortable pit stop. I was a little bit worried. I came out right next to a back marker, so I was a bit nervous. Didn't know Tim was going to get out of the way, but luckily he did, and yeah, just defended home. So really happy.
I think the key moment is when you were already in second, and Van Pamelen was a second up the road from you. We missed what happened to him, but you ended up making a great move into turn 3.
Yeah, he was going really well. I was behind Ryan, managed to get past Ryan, and then sort of slowly dug away at the lead, and. Yeah, just left a little gap, and I thought, here's my time.
He left a Hackett-shaped gap. What a race. Enjoy that adrenaline buzz. You more than earned it. Wow, what a win.
Thank you very much.
We're going to a break now on the live stream, I'm informed, but do stick with us. We're going to come back soon. I'm going to get some food. They're going to refuel.